afternoon and welcome to your favorite every Thursday program. It is 60 Minutes Nigeria, a current affairs program where we extray national issues, especially as they break. My name is Ego Sagbola, welcoming you to today's edition of the program. There are a number of national issues that we'll be looking at today. I must tell you, even today, there was one that happened. A leading female candidate in the presidential race, Obi, has quit. You want to know why? We'll give you details of that on the show. And we'll be looking at the 16-page document released by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. When former President Obasanjo speaks, he gets not just attention from Nigerians, but outside the shores of this country. He has indicted the credibility of Inec to conduct a free, fair 2019 election, that's February election, and he has also raised his reservation on the president's integrity, talking about President Buhari to conduct a credible, free and fair election. We'll be taking a look at these issues. And of course, there was the apprehension in some quarters that the former IGP, his extension, his tenure might be extended because of allegations that the president might just have some clandestine intentions ahead of the February presidential election. But President Buhari shocked such critics when he actually appointed a new IGP, Mohammed Adamu. So, we'll be looking at these issues. And to join me dissect these very important national issues on the program today, I have with me Andrew Eihalua. He is the president, United in Democracy, a pressure group that advocates for good governance for Nigerians. And that's a very good one. We'll see how you are going to, what role you will play to ensure a credible February election. Nigerians are looking up to what people can do to ensure that. You are welcome to today's show.
Good afternoon.
We also have with us a very vocal voice, a legal practitioner and a law lecturer with the University of Benin, Barrister Edu Owebo. Nice to have you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. We also have with us a very seasoned politician and, of course, a candidate that will be contesting this election, Pastor Jimmy Osagede. He will be giving us the political aspect of these national issues. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So, we get started by allowing our viewer to hear from the new IGP, Mohammed Adamu, who, on assumption of office, assured Nigerians that the Nigerian police has been under pressure from Nigerians, especially during the tenure of his predecessor, that the police might not be neutral. But he has come out to say now that the police will be apolitical, and he has also set up an election investigation unit. And that is a novelty idea of the Nigerian police, and that is because of the 2019 election. Let's listen to the acting AIG.
During the handing and taking over ceremony held last week, you will recall that I emphasized in my speech that the presidential and National Assembly elections scheduled for 16th of February 2019 and the governorship, state assembly, and Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections slated for Saturday, 2nd March 2019 are national engagements that will not only tax us, but subject our professionalism and commitment to duty, to national and international scrutiny, The credibility of any election is determined not just by the legal framework regulating it and the conduct of the actors within the process, but by the extent of professionalism and operational competence displayed by the police.
From the acting IGP, we'll start with Andrew Eyaloa. Now, do you think the appointment of this new IGP will count frayed names as regards this election? We'll start from there.
Well, appointing an acting IGP in the police force is a normal routine. And I feel, like I've always said in this program, that it is the security agency and the Inec that are the major players to give us a free and fair election in 2019.
Yeah.
Now, when somebody is in the acting capacity, it's obvious that you might be confirmed or you won't be confirmed, you know? So I think it's a big test for the acting IGP Adamu to prove himself worthy to be a confirmed IGP. Because I think the major test he has now is this 2019 election.
Yes.
But if you ask me, we're talking about integrity here.
Okay.
If I were in acting IGP Adamu's shoes,
Okay.
I will certainly do my best for Nigerians to put my name, you know, to put my name in gold.
Okay.
By doing the right thing. What do I mean by doing the right thing?
Okay.
Not trying to please anybody or trying to, you know, sound as if you must be confirmed. If you don't do well, maybe the incumbent president will not confirm you and all that. Forget about it. You are not serving a particular party, but the whole of Nigerians. So it's a big test for him to do the right thing. What do you mean doing the right? As an acting IG, he gives instructions because the police force is a hierarchy.
Okay.
Down to all the commissioners, to the DPOs, all the police officers that are involved in the election. By the time he tells them, do this and don't do this, do the right thing, I think they will listen.
Okay.
And definitely, maybe the contestants, the political parties will hear that, oh, this man is not trying to play ball, he's trying to be very strict. Fine. If the party that is, you know, be presumed to win the election didn't win, so be it. Even if it's the current party, APC, and they didn't win, if the president wants to, you know, not to confirm you, you can leave the position and tell the whole world why you were removed from that position.
Okay.
It's a big test for him, and I think he should use it as a case study for himself to prove Nigerians wrong that it's not all police that is corrupt.
Okay.
It's a big test for him.
Okay. Barrister Adogo, do you differ? Or do you think maybe it's a smoke screen, or you are not satisfied with this new development? Because the president is trying to do what is right by appointing a new acting IGP.
The truth is that in the present Nigerian situation, we are not doing anything differently.
Okay.
By appointing a new IGP does not change the situation of things at all. The police over the years, they have built a very sorry image about themselves, that when you talk about them, you have reasons to doubt their integrity. The new person you are putting there, has his integrity ever been put in question? Have we had reasons to know whether he's a man of integrity or not? Be that as it may, you are appointing him on the eve, few days to the 2019 election. And then the same factors, the same machinery that we have been using over and over the years, they are still in place. The same circumstances, because it's not just enough to appoint a new IGP. Appointing a new IGP cannot cure the defects in our present Nigerian police system. It cannot cure the defects of all the bribery, corruption, taking of bribes here and there. It cannot solve those problems. Over the years, during elections, we always have reasons to cry out, reasons for complaints. Appointing a new IGP that has not been tested, you now want to try him during the 2019 election, is not going to cure that problem. And then, except the other circumstances, culminating circumstances are different. We are not going to have a different result except the desperation of politicians. Because first of all, he's appointed by present administration that has an interest in the 2019 election. And then, first of all, you look at him, he owes allegiance to his employer. But let's assume all things being equal, the field is level. That alone cannot determine his integrity during the election, except the parties will remove desperation from our politics. The financial attractions attached to political offices are removed, and all those other factors are removed. There is no way, even if you appoint 10 more new IGPs, you cannot guarantee the sanctity of the 2019 election, because we are using the same procedure, the same very manual, crude procedure that is easily prone to manipulation. The same factors, police run up and down, arrest you, you don't have evidence to say, oh, this is what he did, this is what he did not do. So at the end of the day, we cannot expect to get anything different. And it's sad because 2019 election is crucial to the forward movement of this nation. Be that we needed to see things done differently, so that when results are announced, people are satisfied that yes, this is what we voted for. But putting the same factors on ground, the same actors on ground, you expect, because the new IGP is telling us, in Nigeria, the words of a Nigerian means nothing but paper. A Nigerian cannot come out and tell you in any capacity that this is what he's going to do, except he proves it by action. And over the years, Nigerians have been known to fail in proving whatever they say by action. So we don't expect to say anything different. We should only be praying to God to help this nation.
Nigerians are so used to issue of praying to God in solving problems. Well, we are looking at integrity of the Nigerian police, Inec, and 2019 election. I told you of issues that cropped up. How a former president in a 16-page document expressed his reservation on the integrity of the incumbent president, the integrity of INEC as well, to conduct the election. And that's what we are dissecting. We'll get the thoughts of Pastor Jimmy Osagede.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
First and foremost, I want to look at that word, integrity.
Okay.
You know, integrity means honesty.
Okay.
You know, somebody who is upright. You know, ability to do that which is right, without being told, especially in the absence of other people. You know, being that, as it may, you look at the police force itself. There was a time in Nigeria that some pundits were saying that the last word force should be removed because police was becoming too brutal.
Okay. Police
supposed to be the servant of the people, has become the master. But looking at the current dispensation in Nigeria political landscape, you know, the appointment of the new IGP was inevitable. You know, I believe that the IGP was appointed not just because a new election is coming up, but because, you know, the outgoing IGP had, you know,
his tenure has elapsed.
His tenure has elapsed. He needed to go. The police force is an organization where, you know, for instance, before you get to the position of IGP, you're almost on your way out of service. So I expect that the prevailing framework for policing the country that is there, you know, will be followed by the new IGP. I don't see, with due respect to the new IGP, I don't see him coming up with any, you know, novel, you know, arrangement that will make sure that the political landscape is better off than before he came. For instance, the setting up of a special unit to monitor political activities, I think it's unnecessary because the general duty, you know, of police, as you have in Section 4 of the Police Act, you know, gives the police, although the power is, you know, is enormous, and many of us will feel that the power given to police is too much. But Section 4 gives the power to police to investigate. So if anything happens in any sector of the country or the political landscape, you can investigate. You don't need to set up a special, before you know it, it becomes a big problem, just as you have with the SACs and the federal SACs. And these people will start to arrogate to themselves powers that are never given to them. So these are issues that, you know, we need to look at, you know, very critically. Having said that, I believe very strongly that for this election to be successful, the police have to reinvent themselves. But I'm afraid the time between, the appointment of the IGP and the election is too short for police to reinvent themselves. For instance, at the police station,
Okay.
there should be a minimal distance between the first person on the line and where the ballot box is, because it's supposed to be a secret ballot.
Okay.
But what you will find that police who is supposed to make sure, checkmate that these rules are not flattered, they just stand by and be looking, probably because of appeasement from one quarter or the other. So I want to advise very strongly that with the new IGP, police should try to carve a niche for themselves.
Okay.
We all believe that, police is not our friend, even though they say police is your friend. You don't command friendship, you earn it. So if somebody is good to you, you know that this person is your friend. It's not the person forcing you to say, I'm your friend.
Yeah.
So things need to be done separately.
Okay.
But may I quickly look at the issue of the integrity of the president,
Yes, we are looking at all together. Former president,
yes,
expressing reservation on Inec, and of course, the
just like
president.
I've said, even
Yes.
integrity itself, you don't go out to tell people that you have integrity.
Okay.
An honest man don't say that he's honest.
Yes.
For instance, with due respect to everybody, I'm a practicing lawyer.
Okay.
I don't need to go around the street and say that I'm a lawyer.
Okay.
But when I speak, you know that this guy is likely to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Right from the inception of this administration, you have seen that what has happened in Nigeria, has never happened before. A situation where even, a very prominent member of the ruling party have come up to say that, once you commit sins and you cross over to APC, your sins are forgiven. There are so many issues where the president have shown lack of capacity, to take the bull by the horn. So a lot of people are questioning his integrity. For instance, those who are deemed to be corrupt, so to say, all of us, we know all this, but I'm just making deliberate effort not to mention names.
Yes.
So
that's what we do on this program.
Yeah, they run across to the party of the president and nobody hears from there. Even the former, governor of Edo, what happened? A lot of criticism. So if the president has been doing exactly what a president is expected to do, no matter whose horse is God, I don't believe that President Olusegun Obasanjo, former president of Nigeria, will be questioning his integrity. Questioning his integrity is just, the president is just at the peak of the pyramid of all those who are questioning the integrity of the present administration.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pastor Jimmy. We'll get back to you. We are not only looking at just an aspect. The 2019 election that we'll be talking about is before us. Just next month, 16th of February, the presidential election and the National Assembly election will kickstart the process before the other elections scheduled for March. A lot in the offing, you will agree with me, and Nigerians are really, really worried on preparedness of Inec. But Inec chairman, Professor Mahmood, has assured not only Nigerians, but the international community, the European Union, the observers from the European Union, that Inec is ready. But there is a comment he made, which I want to commend him for. I will talk about it. He said whatever former President Olusegun has said, they will examine it. And if there are areas they need to strengthen the preparation of Inec, sure, they will do that. Let's get back to you, Andrew Eigaloa. Now, the former president has spoken. We've looked at the issue of the police. Now, do you think the former president is in order with this kind of letters and documents? Is just putting the public space ahead of the election?
Well, I would say that former President Olusegun Obasanjo is not just an ordinary man.
Okay.
The position they are vying for right now, he has been there for 8 years.
Okay.
He has used Inec, he has worked with Inec, he knows what he's saying. So he's talking from experience, if I'm allowed to speak. Because for him to say, I don't trust Inec integrity, I don't trust Buhari, he was there when Inec was there. He was the president. From all indications, he knew how the game was played in his era. So maybe he's trying to feel maybe there will be a reoccurrence of that method he used. Because I can remember, was it in 2007, during the election? Other states' results were released, but that of Edo State was not released. I don't want to mention it.
Yeah.
Some powerful men flew into this state to urge the INEC to release that result.
That's allegation that we cannot
Yes,
substantiate.
yeah, to release that result. Why was Edo State own not released as at the time other results were released? Something went fishing.
It could be logistics, which we cannot
It could
really
be. Yes.
comment on. Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying President Olusegun Obasanjo knows what he's saying, that he doesn't trust INEC integrity, he doesn't trust President Muhammad.
What do you think INEC should do
now
to earn the trust of former President Obasanjo?
Good. Now, the INEC chairman then is not the INEC chairman that we have now.
Yes.
This is a different INEC chairman,
Yes.
Professor Mahmoud Yakubu.
Yes.
So if I were in his shoes, I would do everything possible to prove his intentions or his allegations wrong by doing the right thing.
What's the right thing?
That is, he should be in Abuja during the elections. He won't be everywhere.
Okay.
Maybe to call a conference for his workers,
Okay.
tell them to do the right thing, teach them what to do, and make sure he stands by them. If any of these political parties are trying to harass any INEC officer,
Yeah.
you should stand by them. That is, if they are doing the right thing. Because politicians or elections, they want to do everything possible to make sure they win. But maybe by inducement, by anyhow. So he should talk to his workers to resist any kind of inducement, harassment, and do the right thing. And if anybody is trying to harass them, there's a special number I will give to them. Call me or call the security agency to act immediately. With that guarantee from him to his subordinates,
Yes.
I think we will get a free and fair general election. Because if you look at it very well, during the last election, I've said it here before, the police, the INEC,
Okay.
when you are trying to complain to them during vote casting,
Voting, yes.
they will tell you, okay, leave this thing is from above. Who is from above? That means there's an instruction from somewhere telling them this is how this thing is going to be done and you must do it. If you don't do it, your job is at stake. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. But if the same instruction that normally comes from above now says, sorry, if you are not a voter, leave this area. If you are not, your scores, we are going to give it to you. Go and tell who you want to tell, because they know they have the backing from the same above this time around. Then we'll have a free and fair election. That is just my
Thank you,
advice.
Andre. Well, I can see that your organization is really interested in a credible election. That's what we want. Let's get the thoughts of Barrister Idogo. Now, President Obasanjo is not a man whose words you take lightly. Now, what do you think INEC should do? What do you think President Buhari should do to actually assure Nigerians of a credible election? The president has always assured Nigerians that yes, this election, he will not interfere. He has said that. But maybe Nigerians are looking for something more concrete. Probably that's why President Obasanjo came out with that document recently. So what do you think should be done?
Well, the first thing is that we have to go back to the drawing board.
Okay.
Because we have missed it over the years. And we are still using the same structure. First of all, I still find it difficult to understand why in the 2019 elections, in this 21st century, we are still practicing very crude form of election practices, whereby people will go and stand manually and cast their votes with paper. So once we are using things that can be manipulated, you will get the same result of manipulated results. Where people are casting their votes with paper, whereby thugs can come and snatch ballot boxes. In this 21st century of e-technology, so much technology, whereby you can do electronic vote. Let people go there and turn print.
Yeah.
And let the machine read it, and the screens, everybody can watch it on their televisions. Let's see how they can manipulate it. With the kind of money, the astronomical amount of money that has been put into this election, we can have electronic voting. But because of reasons I cannot appreciate and I cannot understand, we are still doing manual, very crude form of voting, whereby people vote with paper. They will now say, okay, you did not mark the correct place, the vote is invalid. People will come and snatch votes. And you know what Nigerians are. Nigerians over the years, you cannot trust them to be men of integrity. No matter how they say, they are not to say A and do B, so you cannot hold their words for it. We need action. If the present administration has good faith and say, yes, we want these elections to be free and fair, they have enough things to put on ground. Electronic voting, for example, people should go there, even if they need to line up, but let them just do some print, machine clicks it, and it's rinky, it's calculation on the screen in such a way that it's difficult to manipulate. Then we'll know that yes, the present administration has the political will and the goodwill to see free and fair elections. But to use the same method where people go there, open form, it's not even very secret. Somebody can be there and say, when you get the snap it picture, you come and show me. If you show me, vote for me, I'll give you 5,000 naira. You are still using the same old method, and you are just giving us mere words of mouth assurance that elections will be free and fair. I feel they are being very, very unfair to Nigerians. Nigeria has come a long way. People have gone through a lot of stress after independence. We have gone through a long way. We should, at this stage, have credible elections to revitalize the hope of Nigerians in this our wonderful nation, Nigeria. So until that is done, whereby we have electronic form of voting, whereby we can actually see that the police, their work is to just stand at a distance and maintain security. There is no ballot box for people to snatch. We cannot say categorically that we are aiming towards free and fair election. What we will just be saying is just merely words of mouth, which is a wishful aspirations.
Okay, thank you. Pastor Jimmy. Yes, you have more to say to this. What do you think should be done to earn the trust of Nigerians so that people like Obasanjo will not be worried to be writing letters or putting documents in the public space? What should Inec do? What should this president do to give credence to the fact that he really wants to conduct a free and fair election?
Well, I believe it's not only the former president that is overly worried about the happenings in Nigeria, especially as the election is around the corner.
Yes.
But he happens to be one of the few who have the guts to put his thoughts in print, because as a man at that age, well experienced, as having passed through the road before, he knows exactly what's happening. It's going to be very difficult for INEC to prove to us that there is integrity in this arrangement, because the modus operandi of this election, like Madam pointed out, it gives ample room for manipulation. I don't see any reason why the president refused to assent to the bill that would have introduced electronic calculation in this forthcoming election. Let me give you an example. In the last NBA election, I voted from the comfort of my room. It was electronic. The election that brought Polisoro San as the president of NBA. I voted from my room. That's the way it's done in civilized environment.
Yeah.
That is number one. Number two, there is this outcry, almost everywhere in the country, apart from the north, about Amina Zakari. I can mention that name because everybody is already mentioning that name.
Yes.
That is a relation of the president should not be there.
But the presidency has debunked that.
The president has denied. But there is another revelation that the husband of Amina Zakari is a senatorial candidate in the state. You see, when you are talking about integrity, if there's any iota of doubt about your integrity, then you have to question yourself. For Amina Zakari to be foisted on Nigeria to play a prominent role in the election, under normal circumstances, she should disqualify herself from that arrangement. I don't see why, she says that, the job can be done with her. Now, there are so many loopholes, which I'm sure, you see, as a man of God, I know that God is on his throne. In Proverbs 29 verse 2, the Bible says that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice, and when the wicked rule, they mourn. The God who took care of Nigeria in the dispensation of Abacha is still there. I believe that God will make it impossible for all these manipulations to succeed. Because I see right now in Nigeria, I see a new crop of politicians. There's a generation of young, vibrant politicians who want to change the status quo in this country. All this recycling with old ideas and the rest of them. You can't ask somebody who does not have, money to give you money. It was Lord Denny, one of the foremost British jurists, who said you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand, it will crumble. With due respect to the president, which president are you talking about that you are demanding integrity? Is it the president who must ask his vice to explain the meaning of a question from a journalist before he can attempt to answer. You see, you have been asking us questions, and independently we try to profile solutions. I mean, give our independent. Can you imagine a president who cannot answer a simple question? So, what is his own idea of integrity? Can you imagine, a president where all the service chiefs are from the north, many of them from his own, village where they grew up together, pursuing rabbits all over the place? So, what bothers me most in this forthcoming election is the role that Inec, that is supposed to be an independent umpire, is going to play. Let Inec allow the people to speak. Nigerians are trooping to the polls. The hungry ones are coming out. They want to change the status quo so that by the next, Christmas, they'll be able to buy rice, maybe 8,000 naira, or the next Christmas, or they'll be able to buy chicken. This current dispensation where the basic salary of an average Nigerian cannot buy a bag of rice is just
okay.
Too
We are
bad.
going to come to the issue of minimum wage. We have it as part of the issues we are going to look at. But before we move to that aspect, let's look at the presidential debate that just took place. Two of the candidates, President Buhari of the APC, did not attend. The presidency has explained that the president was engaged in some other activities. The candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, was in the premises. In short, from what we were told, he was about stepping to the podium, but discovered that the candidate of the APC was not around, and he now said, no, he cannot be part. That's what we were told, and we have footage. We saw footage that expressed that the Atiku Abubakar was in the premises. But Obieze Kwesili, that's the woman that is the foremost female candidate in the race. Only today, she has announced, I will draw from the race. Barrister Dogo, we'll start from you. What's your reaction to that? She also cited what is happening in the political scene as part of her reasons, including the presidential debate. Then she also said that she wants to spearhead coalition of political parties that can fight APC and PDP. That's what she said. But we've heard that there's a response from her party alleging that she wanted to use the party's platform to fight for a ministerial slot. These are issues developing now ahead of the election. A lot will see happen. But what's your take on this?
Well, I want to say that that is Nigeria for you.
Okay.
In Nigeria, elephants can fly. Anything can happen, and that is what we just see playing out. And I want to say that it's sad, because as an adult, having calculated and decided to take that bold step to make yourself a candidate in a presidential election, having put in so much effort, you've taken part in the presidential debate, well, only God knows internally her best reasons for deciding to withdraw from the race. But I feel it's not fair to Nigerians that trusted in her. Although one may see that her arguments are good, that she wants to work with the coalition to see that a progressive government is put in place. She may have weighed her cards and discovered that there is actually no way out for her to win this election. But be that as it may, she ought to have done her calculations, she ought to have done her homework before coming out in the first place and presenting herself to be a candidate in the forthcoming election. Not that towards the eve or the tail end to the election she is withdrawing and then dashing the hopes of many Nigerians, because it's not just enough to say, okay, you are withdrawing with good reasons. Her integrity is also at stake, because now her parties, they have disassociated themselves from her and said, okay, she had ulterior motives for coming there in the first place. How do we now verify that what her party is saying is true or what she's saying is true? So that at the end of the day, when Nigerians are doing things, they should look at the future. They should put their integrity, they should know that their integrity is at stake in whatever they are doing. I don't feel she acted well, and then we still have time to see how she's even going to work with the coalition parties that she wants to, or let's see what she wants to do. So it's the outcome of what she does that will justify her present action, if she actually did it with ulterior motives. And I want to say that the presidential debate, the fact that our present president did not come and former Atiku vice president did not come, I feel it's an affront on the sensitivity of Nigerians. It just shows that they put little regards to the votes and intelligence of Nigeria. Nigeria is a country made up of so many intellectuals. This was a debate for us to assess what they are bringing on ground, to assess what they want to do for Nigerians. It's not just enough to campaign. It shows little value for the city. Nigerians should move above that level. If it's overseas and they are doing elections, issues of presidential debates are taken very seriously, because that is where intellectuals will listen and know that, okay, this is what this person wants to do, this is what he can do, this is what he cannot do. But for our two leading candidates to disassociate themselves for good reasons, however, I feel they should, even with apology, create time to come back and give us that presidential debate. We want to see what they actually have to offer Nigerians. It's not enough to tell us to vote for you. Things are hard, hardship is increasing. They are telling us to vote for you without giving us concrete evidence why we should vote for you. This presidential debate would have provided us enough evidence to know if they really have good machineries, good structures put in place if they win to lead Nigeria. All right. Thank you very much. We'll get the comments of Andrew Ayala.
I quite watched that program and listened to the debate. To me, Atiku was childish. A presidential, he's trying to take this whole thing too personal. A presidential debate with other candidates of other parties, it wasn't just Buhari alone that was invited to that debate. If by chance or something happened, Buhari couldn't make it, you are not there because of Buhari. There are other candidates there, and you are there to tell Nigerians what you want to do. Maybe at intervals you can make a reference. Oh, if the APC candidate was here, I would have been able to talk much better, but still address. No, there are traits here now that if Atiku becomes the president, he might as well walk out on Nigerians when we need him. It's very clear.
Okay, but let me interject there. Your words, Shadish, was very strong.
Because no.
So maybe you can yes, thank you very much. You can use a more palatable mind, yes, because that you are not comfortable with Atiku not addressing Nigeria. But he actually, for the fact that he went there, don't you think he had the intention? Because he said that he actually cut his international trip short because of the presidential debate. He was actually at the venue.
That's what I'm saying. Is it because of Buhari?
He said he wants to debate with the president.
Listen, if it was between two of them, it would have been a different case. We have other candidates.
But the other candidate one just pulled out today now.
So be it.
So he wanted to, no, we'll come to you, Jimmy. He wanted to debate with the president.
If he wants a personal debate with President Muhammadu Buhari, let them create an atmosphere for both of them.
Yeah, but again, before you continue, Atiku Abubakar has also said now he's going to have his own town hall meeting, just like what President Buhari also did on one of the national stations. He's also going to have his own, where Nigerians will have opportunity to hear from him. We understand that is in the offing.
That particular debate.
Yes, I understand.
Since he got to the venue of the debate, even Buhari was there or not, he doesn't.
Okay. I think his advisors will be listening to you.
Yes, it doesn't give a hoot. There are other candidates. Go and talk your own and make references to Buhari. Oh, if Buhari was here or the APC candidate was here, I would have been able to talk to him. It's like you are taking it too personal. And I don't think Buhari is taking it like that. It's not, you are doing it out of desperation. Is it a personal debate?
Okay.
You are here to deliver a manifesto to tell Nigerians what you will do, what you intend to do. And there are other candidates there. Let me tell you, not until February 16th, we don't know who is going to be the president of this country. Anything can happen. So you cannot say the other candidates are not strong enough or they cannot win the election. Don't say that. This is election. Like, Nigeria is a godly country. We always believe in God, like you said. Anything can happen on that day. One of the candidates there will win. You will go to the voting center, you start casting it for a particular candidate. At the end, they will announce him the winner. It will be shocking for everybody. Yeah. That's what we call miracle. You people, men of God. Is it not? Miracle can happen. That was how David was able to kill Goliath.
Exactly.
You see?
No, so David was very experienced. His father's,
so I was disappointed when he took that rude and shocking decision. Because Buhari is not here, I won't debate.
No. You were really waiting to hear from him.
Yes.
I can understand your passion.
Say your own part of it, deliver your own manifesto and leave that place.
Okay.
Well,
it will even add to your points.
Yeah, let's get the thought of Jimmy. But we seem to be forgetting the fact of the Obi factor.
Yes.
I want us to talk about the Obi factor.
I'll talk about the Obi factor, but let me just quickly talk about
Atiku.
Atiku not participating in that debate. You know, everybody is entitled to his own opinion.
Yes.
And, you know, that's the beauty of democracy. You know, to be candid, I believe that Atiku had a lot of respect for that arrangement. Okay. That is why he had to cut his trip short to come to You know,
the venue of the debate.
Mother is, even though she expressed opposite view, which is a legal practitioner, the title of that arrangement was presidential debate.
Yeah.
You know, it was not debate for candidates per se. It was for the president and other people to join. So if you rush into a debate where you believe that you are going to prove to the country that this man is incapable, maybe he does not have, incapable of becoming the president or ruling for another four, and he's not there. You know, the man, he apologized and walked away. You know, coming to that venue at all showed that he had respect for Nigeria. That is my own personal view in that respect.
Okay.
You see, let's not shy away from the current situation in Nigeria. We have plethora of 90-something parties. In America, we have a lot of pressure groups. But in American election, you are talking about Democrats and Republicans alone. So if you are organizing debate and you bring only the two front runners, there's nothing wrong in it. So for Atiku to get there, whether you like it or not, the two front runners are Atiku and Buhari.
Okay.
I believe that is probably one of the reasons why Obi has disengaged herself from what she has been doing.
Okay.
Obi Ezekwesili, I believe that what she has done, even though it's not a surprise to me, I don't see anything wrong in what she has done, because she has, she has her own reasons. She must have critically examined the landscape, knowing fully well that even though she may have, the intellectual capacity to be a president, so to say, she may not have, because it's democracy, she may not have the numbers in her favor. Otherwise, she will be talking about coalition. But what she has done, she has dealt a big blow to the widening gap of gender inequality in Nigeria. Because her coming up as a presidential candidate, was supposed to bridge the gender inequality. At least the women folk will see her, as somebody who is championing their cause. So that the cry by the women, with due respect to them, that the men are not allowing them to take up positions, would have diminished. But what she has done, she has disappointed the women. For me as a politician, so to say, I'm not disappointed. Because when you know that things are not working for you, why do you spend more time? Why do you spend more time and money and energy trying to pursue a cause that you cannot get? But so far, she has able to prove to the people that, as a woman, I can do this and do that. I hope a time will come in Nigeria where a woman will actually become the president of this country. After all, the people who vote, most of them are women. Okay,
before we move to the issue of minimum wage, Andre Igaloa, you must comment on the Obi factor. You have not commented on Obi pulling out of the presidential race.
No, the fact is, like, presently we have about 91 candidates in all the political parties. Some of them, they go into this race just for relevance, to be known. They know they are not going to win. She coming out now to say, okay, I want to throw in the towel, I don't want to. It shows that she's a real person. Some of them are there. They won't even throw in the towel. They will just want to answer the name. You know that she's even more popular now than she was. That a woman that was aspiring to be the president.
But she was very popular when she was fighting for the Chibok girls.
That is another scenario.
Okay.
But politically now in this election, she's popular now.
Okay.
And I think people will have soft spot for her. Because she has her reasons for saying, I don't want anymore. Let me go and join a coalition, a party to, to fight the bigger party. It's another big task for her, because maybe she has watched the scenario that, I alone can't fight this fight. And if you must coalesce to fight a fight, you must resign from your former position to come and join the coalition party that is trying to, merge with, to fight. So I don't think there's anything wrong in that.
Thank you very much. I hope my viewer out there, you are enjoying the discussion. We've been looking at the issue of integrity of the Nigerian police, the integrity of Inec, the umpire in charge of the 2019 election, February election precisely. And of course, we've looked at stakeholders, contributions of stakeholders, and we've been able to dissect the issues. But there is another very disturbing trend, and that has to do with the economy of this country. If all workers go on strike, the economy might just crumble. But it was a delight to Nigerians when the issue of strike was put aside, and it was believed that there was some kind of understanding of the 30,000 national minimum wage. But from what we got is that the national minimum wage was not transmitted. The 30,000 was not transmitted until there was a meeting of Council of State. Now, Council of State is an organ of government where you have past presidents, past head of state. Now, a meeting was held, and the Council of State approved 27,000 naira as the new national minimum wage. Now, we understand that former President Obasanjo, former President Goodluck Jonathan, former head of the interim government, Shonekon, attended. The Senate President and some other very important members of that organ attended. The federal government, after the pronouncement or after the communique was issued that the Council of State has agreed to the 7,000 national minimum wage, the federal government agreed that they will pay federal government workers the 30,000 naira minimum wage, which is being canvassed by the NLC. The NLC has also reacted by rejecting what the Council of State said. But there's a point, gentlemen. The Council of State made that, and it is believed that states can agree to the 27 or up it. But what's your take on the Council of State? We'll start with Jimmy.
Well, it's unfortunate that in this country, majority of workers are underpaid. Okay. While just a few are sitting there, sharing the proverbial national cake. The agreement, the tripartite agreement was for 30,000 naira. And that is what the labor union and the majority of workers have been expecting. Okay. So when you come out from a National Council of State meeting and you are now recommending, that the federal government will pay 30, state will pay 27, for God's sake, what is the basic principle, underlying principle for the disparity in pay? Does one need to commit an offense to work in the state or to do something extraordinary to work in the federal government? You carry the same degree, the same qualification. Just because you are employed by the federal government, you are paid better than the person that is employed by the state government. That is a disparity on its own that I don't even like in the system. Okay. Then number two, it should not be a problem for any state government to pay 30,000 naira. All the hues and cries that the state is broke and the rest of them, the revenue the states are generating, how do they spend the money? Are they accountable to the people? There's a lot of leakages, a lot of money that is being embezzled. That is why they are finding it difficult to pay salaries. But they themselves, they don't owe themselves. The people who sit to decide whether salary should be paid or not, they don't owe themselves. So why are you now owing the masses? So I believe that even that 30,000, that was a gentleman's agreement, because 30,000 is meaningless. By the time your electricity company will bring, thank God for what the National Assembly is doing now, they want to make it illegal.
Estimated bill.
Yes, once they give you a bill that you did not consume, once it's just terrible. That 30,000 naira is just like for 2 or 3 days, no matter whether you are a bachelor or you are married. So a lot of things the machinery have to be set in motion to rearrange the financial status quo in Nigeria. There's so many things wrong in Nigeria. So I believe that even though I'm not a proponent of a strike, it looks like that is the only language that the government understands. I sympathize with labor because their agreement have been truncated. So if it's possible to go back to the drawing table, let them talk with government and see what they can do. But it is very difficult for the leaders to go and tell their people that they should not down tools when what they have been demanding and agreed has been truncated. Yeah. So once you have an agreement, you follow through. That is my take on that.
Thank you very much, Pastor Jimmy. Barrister Adogogo, yes, you are also a federal government worker. You must be delighted because the federal government worker will pay the 30,000 minimum wage, while Council of State says, okay, minimum wage is 27,000 naira. What's your take on that?
Well, in the spirit of fairness, ordinarily 30,000 naira is a very minimal to be paid as minimum wage in the light of current realities in Nigeria. Yes. Cost of living is way too high to be paying 30,000 naira to anybody to survive. That's the truth. You can't survive on 30,000. But be that as it may, because of the present economic situation, Labour had compromised to accept 30,000. I feel it's really unfair to now decide to also downgrade that of the states. They didn't commit any crime to be state workers in the first place. And to be honest, the Council of State, they lack the capacity legally to now alter what a tripartite committee have come up with. They lack the capacity. They are not the appropriate statutory bodies to change an agreement made. If there is to be a change, the National Assembly should change the agreement. It was only for the president to move that bill to the National Assembly to pass 30,000 minimum wage into law, not to call the Council of State to deliberate on it again, what a committee has already deliberated. They don't have the legal capacity to do that. It's not within their powers to do that.
Thank you. Just party word, Mr. Andrew, just your party word on that.
I would say Nigeria, the continuous absence of no work, no pay, this salary issue should be put to rest.
Okay.
They should respect the federal government and allow this 27,000 get its way so that we can live happily.
Thank you very much. Because of time, we have to call it a day on the show, but I hope you've enjoyed the very illuminating discussion today on 60 Minutes Nigeria. If you did, keep a date with us. Next week, God willing, we'll be here again with a different set of discussions. Bye-bye.